Hello, hello. All right, so this is a special Virgo bonus. A Burno Vogus is what I was about to say. Um, but this is because I was just live doing a Gemini read, and Melly popped in and asked for the next Virgo edition. And so when I get a special request, if I can honor it, I try to. All right, so here we go. We've got Yin, card number two. So we got a lot of feminine energy here, a lot of feminine, and we have this cup that's very receptive right now. We have possibly a Virgo, maybe identifying as a divine feminine, but someone who is ready to welcome in something that will fill their cup, fill their heart up, something that will, elevate them, lift them somehow. And it is a very, like, if whether this is a masculine or a feminine is irrelevant, but the bottom line is this is someone who is in that receptive feminine energy, like gravitational pull, welcoming things toward them, wanting, though, I would argue this is somebody who really wants their heart to be filled. Ooh, doubling down on the feminine energy, we've got this high priestess here. We got a five of discs in the reverse, and we got the lovers. Absolutely gorgeous. So first off, this Virgo is very attuned right now, very attuned to the energy of, I know that I'm calling in something to fill my heart, to fill my cup. It's like I know love is coming in for me. I know a romantic partner is coming in for me. I know someone is coming home to me. And this particular Five of Cups, you notice the length of his hair and his beards. This says that it's been a really long time since Virgo had. I'm going to say this Virgo's probably been single for a long time. It could be a very specific person who has felt like Virgo was home to them, who's been away for a really long time, but they have carried. You notice how over their heart we look right into like this porthole, and what we see is this the image of, like, I always want to say the green, green grass of home, and I always think of the song by um, What's New Pussycat. Oh gosh, somebody give me his name. I just blanked out, and I love him so much. I own multiple albums of his, and I'm so annoyed with myself. He's such a great singer. Tom Jones. There we go. Um, I just feel like this is such a profound energy. This, we kind of keep getting some vibes like this, and I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of repeat messages, but I don't get to pick the cards. This is a character who is aware subconsciously that my lonely days are over. Somebody's coming home to me, and it is my lover. Now, Virgo and this person could come from two different cultures. They could have something different about one another. One could be older, one could be younger. They could come from different cultures. One could be just simply, dark haired, one light haired. It doesn't matter. They look even better together because of their differences. And I will say their differences are exactly why when they curl around each other, it's like this is the perfect, yin to yang match. When I say curl around each other, I'm thinking of like the yin yang symbol. Um, I can't say it. Yin yang. There we go. I slur them together. All right, let's see. Let's see. We've got Justice and we got the Sun. So we have a Libra and we have a Leo. They're both sideways. There is a mixture of, I'm going to say a mixture of, God, everything's been wrong with this, and it's been pleasure and pain, and it's been, agony and ecstasy, and it's been so unhappy, and it's also been so, so happy, and there's been so much wrong that has to be fixed so it can be so right. This is in typical Virgo fashion, because I think we always have Virgo reads like this. This is actually the best way for these cards to come out, even though they were both sideways, because if they were one direction or the other, it would say it can be pure happiness if things are set right. And for me, when the Justice goes in the reverse, that's when things that are wrong are going to be turned right. In the opposite position, it would be like there ain't no sunshine if things are still going to be a mess between us. If we're not ever going to figure this out, then it will always be something that, is a missed opportunity of great happiness. There has to be clarity, and there has to be things smoothed out. But it's like the Virgo says, I am so open to this, And I already sense that it is my lover is on their way home to me. All right, what does that mean then, Virgo? If Virgo's lover is coming on home to them, and now I've got the song by the Commitments, Bring It On Home to Me. Oh, I love that song. We got Ace of Wands. We got Nine of Wands. Again, I already said like the agony and the ecstasy. There's all kinds of, like this is a ferocious kind of love. These two may have fought like tigers, but they also love like tigers. um, this is big passion. But here's the thing, someone has been gone for a very long time, to the point where you notice how their face is erased right out of this. I didn't do that. That's how the card looks. But it also says this person is almost like consumed with passion. I feel like there is so much electricity in the air. There's so much like power in this whole relationship that exists between these two. And I think wanting to fight for this is an understatement. I think that, look, it could be sparks fly like crazy for these two when they meet. They could have like raised voices and yelling, but yelling like how much they want to be together, not like yelling angry, but yelling about how, I am determined to fight for this. It feels like somebody is like really impassioned. They both are, is what I would argue. This is a pretty intense little read right now. Okay, so we got a Queen of Wands. We got the World. I do feel like this person thinks the world of Virgo. They think Virgo is the hottest thing they've ever seen. Virgo likes feeling this way. Virgo themselves may not have felt all this attractive. Virgo keeps coming up as a divine feminine. They may be thinking, no, I'm too heavy. I'm too plump. They think this Virgo looks awesome. That is not the case at all. And I only say that because she is a more robust figure as this Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands is extremely attractive. And I think that's a really important note, that, a body is gorgeous regardless of what different size and shape we are. We're all different sizes and shapes. That's what makes it so fascinating to see how many different types of beauty exist, But I will say, they think this Virgo is just right. The World card is a new beginning. It's a brand new, fresh start. I think that there's been a lot of pent-up emotion that needs to be shared between these two. There's tons of desire that has been subdued for a while. I don't really want to go down the road of why have these two not been together. I really only want to look at how they end up coming into this union, because that's what this whole story is about. So I don't see the point in looking back. I only see the point in looking forward in this. So let's go ahead and see as we look forward. So Four of Wands, we obviously have a wedding. Virgos, I better all get an invite. I want to go to this character's wedding. We've got Knight of Wands. We've got Seven of Wands. And this is something where it's like, and this is crazy, but it almost seems like these two are going to have a very emotional reunion. And I think they go straight to the altar. I mean, which sounds nuts, but I think that they pretty swiftly say, look, and they could even do this in that like a spur of the moment of like an argument, a fight, kind of a fight slash, hooting and hollering at each other that I want this, I want to be with you, and I want it permanent. It's been forever since we've been apart, and those days are done, and all I want is to be home, and I want to be home permanently, and I want us to be together permanently. And what's more permanent than us saying I do? So let's just do it, and then we'll work out all the details. I feel like these two are doing it in a very backwards way, in the sense that I'm ready to just marry you. No, we know we've got other crap we got to work through, but let's promise ourselves to each other, and then we'll work through everything else, because this is like I'm not saying this is right or that this is wrong. I'm just saying these are the cards we got. So this is the story I've got. They are marrying, and then they are dating each other and working through everything that they need to. And I think for these two, and only for these two, it is right for them. It is right for them because these are two characters that already knew each other. These are two characters that have been bonded together almost like they've been in an emotional 5D marriage all this time. So for them to finally come into the 3D and be around each other again, it's like, let's promise that we're not going to walk away from each other this time. And I think that's the clearest way they could both promise it to each other, that this is how serious I am. But I almost feel like it's almost like on a dare. Like, oh really? So really you're all in, huh? Show me how all in you are. And they're like, oh, I'll show you. Let's go get married. Let's do it right now. Like, I kind of feel like that's the way this goes. And maybe each thought they were going to call each other's bluff, and they don't. They wind up married, and it's a good wedding. I mean, these two are so thrilled. They're so excited in this card. And then it's like, this feels freaking amazing. And then reality sets in, and we go, okay, we got things that now we got to work on. We got to figure out the nuts and bolts of this. I feel like this is two people who have not yet been able to build a legacy together in the 3D realm, and this is their first time being able to do it. That's really exciting. Really exciting. So the nuts and bolts. We've got a 6 of Cups that is sideways. These are soulmates. This is in both sides. I think they're both going to admit, yeah, I always knew we were returning to each other. I didn't know how, I didn't know when. We got a King of Cups in the reverse. We got the World in the reverse. The 2 of Swords in the reverse. The 9 of Swords in the reverse. And the Page of Coins upright. You know, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but it's almost like they're saying, and I think they both felt this way, it's kind of like life has been put on hold for both of them. They didn't fall in love with anybody else. They didn't go out and give their heart to anybody else. They didn't move on from each other. They didn't move. It's like no matter how many years have passed, it's like they got put in cryo freeze. And yet they both knew this. It's really hard to act like I've moved on from something that is, it's like they live in a parallel universe all the time where they go, yeah, I'm not with them, but somehow I'm always with them somewhere inside. And I can't pretend it isn't like that, because it is. And there is even in the frustration of being separated, there was still some, like, I don't know how else to say this, but there was this consistent knowledge that I'm not even going to get that stressed out because I still know that I'm with you somehow. I guess that's the aspect of the soulmate card. And I feel like they both have a lot to say about that. Now, this is still the stuff that they got to work through, though. You know, they have to, they still have to work through where they've been, what's been going on, and what do they want to do now. The only thing is, and I'm really tempted to say, where have they both been? What's been happening in their lives? But this card says they're not doing that. They're just making a list of what they need to do now together. What do we need to build together? All right, let's map out things. Okay, where do we want to live? It's like they're making a shopping list, only it's a shopping list of life, of everything that they're going to do together. And it just kind of feels like no time has disappeared in the years, perhaps, or the time that they've been apart, which is kind of eerie. I know this is kind of it's a different kind of a reading, that's for sure, but it's almost as if the time that has passed is already forgotten, and they're just right where they are now on this page where, okay, now I'm married to you. I've been married to you all along, you just weren't here. It was like maybe these two literally, were living in different countries and had to wait until they could come back into, finally being around each other and they could finally have their wedding. The only thing is, I don't think these two spoke. That is not the vibe I got at all. It could have been something like that, but that's not the way this feels to me. It feels like two people who have been zero contact, but have acted like mentally they were with each other all this time, even though I don't know why there would have been zero contact. Eskar, thank you, Angel. You are so incredibly kind. Thank you, honey. Thank you for that generous donation. Thank you, everybody, for being here. All right, let me just see. The fact that we have a Nine of Wands, the Judgment, and the Moon. Again, there was a consistent, and I was saying maybe I shouldn't ask where they've both been or what's been going on. They both had stuff they had to do. They were both running the race of life before they could come back into union with the Judgment card. And subconscious, I feel like I said, I don't think either of them have spoken. They haven't, except in their subconscious, which in this case, look at how dominant that moon is. Look at how huge that moon is. This is an example where the subconscious is so much more powerful than the conscious mind. And maybe I would argue it's always more powerful, really, because it drives. It's the secret driver. It's like we may think that this big old brain is in control, but really it's the desire or the subconscious or the instinct or all of that rolled into one, however we want to look at that, that is really in the driver's seat. And not even they necessarily acknowledged it, yet that was at all points in time, that's what was really at work here. I can't change the cards that we got, and I can't change the story. So whether that sounds super fanciful or not, I am a fictional storyteller, so of course I'm going to have a fictional tale, but I did love this one. I absolutely loved this one. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is lovely to see you. Eskar, thank you, Angel. Happy holidays to you also, honey. Thank you, everybody. If you do enjoy the channel, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. We've got to get over to... I want to do at least 3 other zodiacs still tonight. But Melly, no problem, darling. I saw your request for another Virgo read, and I try to honor them if I possibly can. Thank you. Kevin William, good to see you out there. Hi, Trinidad. Merry Christmas, honey. Yellow, hello. Tammy Secord, always good to see you, honey. Hi, Jojo. You know we're headed over to Taurus next, Jojo. Hey, Roman, namaste. Andrea, good to see you, honey. All right, you guys, have a great evening, and I will see you in some of the next ones. Bye for now.